The magic realm is a world that has magic, where everyone freely uses magic as part of their natural everyday life. Magic is believed to be a gift from God, and its mastery determined one's social status in the world. However, in the corner of this world, deep in the forest, there is a person whose existence defies the natural order. After finishing pumping some iron, Mash then enjoys a cream puff. Regro is living with his son in a forest far away from other humans. As he is old now, Regro isn't bothered by many things and had learned to combat stress. Mash then enters the house, ripping the door off its hinges. Regro gets angry and yells at him about it, but Mash explains he didn't remember if he had to pull or push. Mash apologizes and explains he will fix it. Regro calms, but seeing Mash trying to push the door while in the wrong position, he gets angry again and yells at him that it's in the wrong position. However, Mash keeps pounding the door and ends up completely breaking it. After Regro calms down, he asks Mash if he finished today's training routine. Mash confirms but wonders why his routine is all workouts physical. Regro wants to tell him it's because he is different and can't use magic, but tells him he will tell him some other time. Regro then heads out. Mash tells him he learned how to fix the door, but Regro yells at him to first learn how to open and close doors first. Before leaving, Regro reminds Mash that he must not go into the city. However, the moment Regro leaves, Mash heads out for the city, noting that he can't ignore his stomach. At the city, he sees everyone is using magic for things that they can use their hands. He goes to a cream puff shop and orders 7, but as he was too excited, he ended up bending the coins. He apologizes and bends them back to normal. The seller is shocked but sells him the cream puffs. As Mash is about to leave, a wind blows his hood and people see his face and notice that something is missing from his face. Brad reads on the newspaper that this year's divine visionary is Rain Ames, a second-year student at Easton Magic Academy. A divine visionary is a title awarded to the student demonstrating the highest degree of excellence over the school year. Along with the title, Rain is promoted to nobility and gifted 1 billion London and provisional employment at the Bureau of Magic. Brad is envious as he is living a dull life in a dull place. A beat-up chain man then asks Brad for forgiveness as he only stole something small. However, Brad is annoyed at the man as his crime caused him some trouble and he had to work. As he was about to make the man regret doing the crime, the phone rings. Brad is then informed about an unmarked kid in the city. While walking around town, people keep staring at Mash since he doesn't have a mark on his face. Mash ends up bumping into a drunk policeman, Terry, and gets cream on his uniform. Terry then yells at Mash and Mash offers him a cream puff. However, as it's half eaten, Terry gets even more angry and knocks the cream puff to the ground. He continues to yell at Mash, asking him what he will do about his uniform. Mash then grabs it and rips the uniform from him, stating he will take it and wash it. Brad then shows up, hearing that Terry is causing some ruckus and seeing Mash. He guesses he is the kid from the report. However, before he can ask Mash anything, Regro comes running and takes Mash, apologizing for his son's doings. Brad sees this as a promotion chance and creates a bird from magic to follow Regro. Back at their house, Regro tells at Mash for going to the city, but seeing him being sorry about it, Regro feels that Mash really regrets his actions. For a punishment, he tells him to repeat his morning training routine. Mash accepts and gives Regro some cream puffs. As Mash heads out to do his punishment, Regro rushes in to open the door for him so that Mash doesn't break it. Regro is now worried about Mash as the magical police had learned of him. He then notices Brad's bird outside. A moment later, Brad, Terry and another policeman break through the wall. Mash finishes his training quickly and decides to head back to eat some cream puffs, singing a cream puff song along his way back. He stops at the door wondering if he had to push or pull, but then overhears Brad from inside, who knows that Regro had hidden Mash. Brad tells Regro that they flourish because they get rid of inferior blood unable to use magic, and those who can't use magic have no privilege to live. He asks Regro where Mash is, but Regro acts like he doesn't know anything. He tells Regro that sheltering an unmarked person is a crime. However, Regro refuses to speak even after Brad starts beating him up. Regro recalls how his family and bosses had seen him as a failure and useless as his magic was weak. He felt completely unwanted and thought to end his life. However, just before he jumped to his death, he heard a baby cry. Seeing the baby had no mark, he realized it was abandoned because it's unmarked and felt he is like him. As the baby smiled at him, Regro felt for the first time in his life that someone needs him and swore to be a father of that child. Regro yells at Mash, telling him to run. Brad then realizes Mash should be still nearby and tells his men to look for him. Brad beats up Regro, trying to make him shut up, but as Regro keeps yelling, he decides to use magic. In that moment, Mash bursts through the door, punching one of the policemen and sending him flying outside through the wall. Terry faces Mash, but Mash again rips his uniform and starts slapping him and knocking him out. Regro wonders why Mash didn't run, and Mash explains it's because they are family and Regro is all he got. He apologizes for being selfish, but notes that since he is here already, he will send the police to hell. Brad laughs, wondering how Mash will defeat him without magic. Terry also believes Mash doesn't have a chance, and Brad used to be on the Bureau of Magic's security force and regular magic users don't stand a chance against him. Brad then states he will finish the fight in 3 seconds and starts casting a spell. Terry recognizes the spell to be the one that drove away a dragon. Brad then shoots anicaps, a destructive magical ball at Mash, which causes an explosion. As the smoke clears, Brad can't believe he saw Mash just slapping his spell down, like it was nothing. Brad then prepares an even more powerful spell, anicaps diagoras. However, Mash just slaps it down again. Brad shoots it again and again, but Mash uses a volleyball move to stop it and keep juggling with the magical balls. Mash keeps playing around with Brad's magic for a moment. Mash picks Regro's wand, telling him he will borrow it for a moment. Brad is surprised as Mash can't use magic but prepares a defensive magical circle to stop any magical attack. However, Mash throws the wand as a spear, piercing through Brad's magical defensive circle with ease and scratching Brad's face, shocking Brad as he had never seen someone use a wand like that. Mash then warns him to not threaten his family again, or he will kill him. Brad then wants to make him an offer, and if Mash do what he says, he will let him and Regro go free. Brad explains that once a year, one exceptional student is revered as one of God's chosen and called a divine visionary. Brad tells Mash to enroll in a magic school and be chosen as divine visionary. If he does that, it will mean that God has accepted him, and society will accept him. Brad explains that he just wants the fortune and prestige that comes with the title. Brad tells Mash that if he doesn't accept, the whole country will be after him. While Mash is tough, he may be okay, but that won't be true for Regro. Mash then accepts, telling Regro that he wants them to live in peace again.